Brothers and sisters, what's going on? Brother Heru Horace. We are looking. Let me see what I'm going to talk about. This is I want to talk about technology a little bit. All right, and it's important that we understand technology because technology began with us. All right, the very first technology. Yes, us so-called African American and Latin American people. We're the most brilliant minds ever, all right? And we have a system who wants to keep us down, brothers and sisters. Understand? We're dealing with a bunch of pirates. Thieves and beggars is all they are. We're dealing with a pirate system. Thieves and these white and Asian people, they're a pirate, and these Muslim people, they're a pirate type species. They're just a bunch of liars and beggars. All they want to do is steal. Most of them. Because they don't have anything from themselves. I want you all to, as I am already doing now, I want you all to begin studying like ancient turbine systems and how we created an ancient turbine system. You got all of these lands, what they call India and China and Japan, and these are all part of the islands that we are in. But each of them had a different type of technology as far as flying. Flying was something that was used by us, just like these methods. We had the vessels. We flew up into the airs with the vessels and we saw the whole land, which is why we knew it was the shape of a turtle, why we called it Turtle Island. We had was the shape of a football. Tortoise shell is shaped like a football. We had the vessels that we used, what you call turbine technology. We had dealing with change and boats and what was that the system dealing with the cranking system, dealing with all different types of cranks, and this is how we were able to get into the air. Like we said, our system at the time dealt with a more higher technology. We dealt with the crystal technology. We dealt with the technology of gas. We're not talking about the petroleum gas. We're talking about different gases in the air, in the atmosphere. All right, this is something that we must begin focusing on, because as we go in a higher state, no one's gonna come and take us into this higher state but us. We're the only one that can take ourselves into this higher state. We're the only ones. There's no one else. There's no one else that's going to take us into the higher mindset of building and creating and designing and structuring and all that. And we have the mental capacity to hold such information, all right? All this information is within us. That's when we see certain things, we be like, wow, this seems so familiar to me, because this is deep within our bloodlines. This is deep within our soul. Our ancestors literally left this information for us. What happens when our ancestors gain new thoughts and new our ideas? This was literally set in blood. It was literally set within the waters within them. The blood had captured this type of information, so it was passed down from generation to generation. I'm a carpenter. I never went to school for mailman, but it's something my grandfather passed on to his father. There's certain things that were passed down to us through blood, like mailmanry. Certain things that passed down to us through blood, and we have to gain access, of such type of information, such type of knowledge, so we can carry ourselves into the next state. This physical evolution depends on what we do in the physical realm. You got a spiritual evolution, which is the rapture what we call the, oh shit, what we call the supernova and the rapture run hands in hand. That basically means a spiritually enhanced mindset, but we have a physical evolution where we physically evolve through the mental capacity of us thinking on higher realms and building and creating things on a much higher level. This is something that we have to bring into consideration in this lifetime, all right? Nobody's gonna do this but us. Nobody's gonna do it for us but us, okay? We are the only ones that can actually do this. We're the only ones that can actually change the whole outcome of actually everything goes oh so. It's important how we think to get into the air. The ancient turbines dealing with their crank system. There's an ancient crank system. Oh, this cocksucker. Where we had the cranks and the certain type of energy that was created to make that turbine system work, and it would span at an extremely high temperature and extremely high velocity, better yet, and it did not need any fuel, and we did have a wiring system. We're talking about a negative and a positive. That's something that you can't take away from our species. We did have a wiring system. Did have a wiring system. So we gained concept of such knowledge. So we were able to take ourselves into, like I said, to evolve physically, just to do something new, causes us to a different state of mind, where we are able to operate on a much higher level, all right? This is extremely important. Because our enemies, the ones who set up this system, we got to follow their rules, told us we got to follow the ideas and the religions that they want us to follow. You have to, it's not so much going against, you have to destroy that whole mindset, that whole ideology. So as we learn reading and writing the English language, and we learn that mathematical processes, all right, we learned all this, okay? It's time to maximize on this. It's time for us to take it to a whole different level. You got to maximize on this. You got to literally carry this into a completely different state, all right? Which means we have got to advance our mindset. So how do you advance your mindset? You advance it through studying. You got to read books. That's an old saying. You're saying if you want to hire something from our people, put it in a book, because a lot of our people are not going to read it. They'll be just like, oh, well, I'll go into meditation. I'm going to find out through meditation. Sometimes you got to read some shit. Sometimes you got to read. Some things you got to study. Some things you have to gain a certain knowledge of. So once you begin to start in the process of reading on how to create these things, studying how to create these things, once you begin creating it, that's when you put the Bible down. It starts to become natural to you. Be like, oh, I know how this works. I know how that works. We had this ancient system where we flew, and then we had the weaponry, which is the laser technology we had. We had laser technology from the Star Wars. We had energy. It was an energy system where we had a laser technology system where they go for damn near miles. And just like I explained one time on the video I did long ago about how the Star Spangled Banner literally talks about how we had an advanced system when these beings had invaded our planet Earth. It's like the rockets' red glare, bombs bursting in the air, rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting through the air gave proof for the night, which means they were coming down to us, and they saw us surface to air missile system. All right, and then they claimed that they still prevailed, but they didn't. We had surface to air missile system where we would had literally destroyed them. We had all types of technology. Don't think that they came to a planet or a realm of some people who were completely dumb idiots, running around with guns in our mouths and bows and freaking all kind of crazy stuff in our ears. No, we wasn't that way. We were highly advanced technological people, Atlanteans. That's who we are. This is why they feared us coming to certain levels of knowledge, because they know our Atlantean bloodline, our Atlantean background. Why do you think they want to water down our blood? Why do they think they come on now? Because it's information passed down from bloodline to bloodline, from generation to generation through blood. So are the brothers and sisters who don't have none of this, and there's no how can I say it? People who don't have any non-indigenous bloodlines in their family genealogy. You literally contain a whole wealth of information within your blood. As Atlanteans, it's the stuff that was passed down to generation to generation to generation. That's why it was told to us, do not go outside of your species and have sex with them or mate with them. Do not go outside of your species. And what did many of our brothers and sisters do? They disobeyed. Why? Because once you went outside of your species, what happened? All that information that was passed down stops. All right? It all stops. It comes to a freaking halt. It ceases to exist. All right? So it's important to understand technology. All right? That's so important that we understand technology. All right? So building planes, building machines that fly, because in order for us to defeat our enemies, we have to defeat them at a higher level. All right? And we need brothers and sisters to come together. I really, really do. I want to do another great gathering, because I don't want this great gathering sitting around talking. I want us to make something. All brothers and sisters can gather together, because when I look at these inorganic beings and how they come together, they may have differences in religion, and they have differences in ethics and ethnicity and beliefs and whatever, but they come together and they create. You don't think about CERN. Look at all these inorganic beings. They created CERN. How many of them Catholic? How many of them Jewish? How many of them are Muslim? How many of them are Christian? They all have different beliefs, but they came together and they created something. All right? This is the problem as the original beings we have, because especially those who have awakened, they've seemed to have separated themselves from those who, what you call, sleep. But those are what you call are asleep, of a whole wealth of knowledge that we can get. So you have to literally put aside your differences and beliefs and say, hey, we got something that we got to build. We have something you have to put together. We're not doing this for money. We're doing this for ourselves, because our enemy has a whole fleet of technology and planes and all, and helicopters and whatever else that they want to use to fight against us with. And we got to get into a higher knowledge. When we start dealing with the spirituality and the sorcery and all, the whole point of sorcery and the spirituality is to, many of us sorcerers created high levels of technology. This is what many of us did. We created high levels of technology. It wasn't on the pyramids or all the other structures we created. You have to understand that for us to develop the proper mindset on how to, we must first study, okay? You have to get a PDF files, you got to get a couple books, whatever else, just study this technology. All right, let's study this technology so we know how to build, how to create, how to design. The step that these beings are using, they're using the same steps that they used long ago. All right, it's just that they have, over the few calendar years, the past calendar years, they have come together and began creating things on a higher level. But then the whole thing about it is they still have to go back to what we created in order for them to gain that knowledge. It may have taken a whole lot more of them. Hold up here. Sorry about that. So it's important that we get into technology, building flying machines. And you see, for refrigerators, you think refrigerators are just built? We already had refrigerators before the white man came in 1492. We already had air conditioning before 1492. When these beings came here to the Americas, they saw a whole wealth of technology that we had already created. You understand this, brothers and sisters. It was a whole wealth of technology that we had already created. We had already created so much. And that technology is within us, which means we got to go deeper within ourselves to find this technology, but we got to study. Like I said, in this instance here, many of us going to have to open up a book and start reading, or go to a certain YouTube channel so we can gain the knowledge of certain things. And there's certain steps and certain things we need to do in order to advance into the next level. Our enemies have taken flight. They've learned the missile technology. When they came there, when a god said they came here with the false magic, they came here shooting bullets at us, and they already had certain type of rocket system. Don't think that this whole Civil War thing that they created, they're talking about the muskets and we had. That was technology. We're fighting with technology. They came here with technology and we were fighting with technology. Don't think that it wasn't in place. There's so much that we've got to relearn. There's so much that we got to bring back into perspective. So when you begin studying on a certain level, you be like, hold on. I'm getting the concept. And you start making your own models. And then you start creating. Then you start finding out within yourself that, okay, I can do this. But first you just need to study the basic concepts of electricity. The negative and positive, okay? You got a negative part, you got a positive part. You got life, and you got the basic steps of technology and electricity. That's something we established eons ago, long before these beings were already created. We already had such technology, such systems in place. We already had a lighting system. We already had computers. We already had robotics. We already had all this. They did not. But since over this 400 calendar years, we've already found ourselves in a completely different state of mind, which means that we've got to bring ourselves into the likeness that we gotta change. And I don't know, to be honest, y'all, they tell us 400 years. It could be far more recent than 400 years. It could be much more recent than that. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to find it out, brothers and sisters. Because we know the timetables are wrong. We know that the timetables are wrong. So it's important that we gain certain levels of information that we can reclaim and re-grasp the level of technology that we're supposed to have, okay? Because we got to get back into technology. You have to fight your enemy on a higher level, which means we already had that. Just like George Lucas did in his documentary. He studied us. He studied Atlantean technology. He studied Atlantean culture. You know, we were deep into technology. This is where we got Babylon from. Oh, Babylon is fallen. Atlantis is Babylon. We are the Babylonians. Babylon was a place of extremely powerful technology. So they did talk us about us in that book called the Bible. We didn't know what Atlantis was Babylon. And they didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't understand the whole concept that they had technology. They needed us to fall for it than them to rise. But now we rise. And they fall. They don't come back. We're the only ones who can rise again. We're the only ones who can rise again. There's no one else who can rise better than us. This is why we have a whole system fighting against us to create us and keep. Oh, depend on Jesus. Oh, depend on God. Depend on Allah. Depend on Jehovah. Depend on Yehovah. Depend on Yehoshua. Telling you to depend on all these different beings, and these beings are not giving you the proper knowledge that you need to advance, and they just exist in a book. That's all they do. Oh, depend on Allah. Depend on, this is what they do. They only exist in a book. You exist in this real reality, in this reality. You exist, and we can't continue to sit back and allow an enemy to flourish while we just sit back trying to get to a level where you're doing the same thing over and over again. You gotta, sometimes we can go into that whole thing of what we call an insanity, doing the same thing over and over and again over something different. We gotta do something different. We want to get back into where the proper state of technology and getting back into that technology and that powerful state of mind we're creating design. We got to study. We got to go in the books and study. The information is there. It's not hidden. It's there. It's right there in plain sight. It's just some of us haven't grasped the concept that we have gained a possession of this information and use it so that we can take ourselves to a much higher level, to a much higher state of mind. We got to. There's nothing that we can do besides go into ourselves, opening books on the outside of us, studying, finding out the truth of everything. How do I do this? How do I do that? Some of us are prone to wanting to advance, but don't want to go through the proper steps of advancement. We just want things to happen instantly. Yes, we did manifest things. Yes, we did do this. Yeah, but at that time we were taught, we had hands-on training. Now that because of the current system that we're dealing with, we don't have that hands-on training. Which means we're going to have to come together as a people, brothers and sisters. We're going to have to come together and create design, structure. We're going to have to come together. Put your differences aside. Don't frown on a brother because he's Christian and I'm not dealing with him. Because then we begin to label ourselves and we separate ourselves. They're going to have information that we need. But I'm not dealing with them because he all into that. He did this, and he did that. Stop separating yourselves from your own species because you feel like they aren't awakened. Because in a true awakened state, we use every research that we can possibly use for us to advance into the next level. This is what we do, brothers and sisters. This is why I was talking to so many young brothers and they had so much knowledge, but they wanted to hang out in this system. They wanted to hang out and shoot and kill each other and shoot each other and rob people. And bruh, you got a whole wealth of knowledge and you sitting up some trying to rob somebody when you can create something great. Said, oh, I don't want to seem like a square. And this is what the system has done. This whole reptilian-based system got our brothers and sisters thinking that they're nerds and squares and virgins who've never touched a woman because they have knowledge. The whole rap industry is designed to destroy the whole mental scope of who we are. We have a life that we must live. We have a life that we must gain back. And technology is what is literally on top of everything. So the only way we're going to advance, brothers and sisters, we got to take ourselves in that next level. We got to stop being in the state of insanity. Because I've begun studying. I've begun studying the ancient turbine system. Because I'm like, we got to get off the ground, brothers and sisters. Our enemies are fighting us up in the air. They're putting chemicals up in the air, which is mean we got to get up in the air and we got to destroy what they're doing. We got to be able to hone in on their system of things and destroy their basis and to destroy whatever they're doing. Because we're on the ground trying to figure out what to do on the ground when we need to get in the air. Because when we get in the air, we can do things on a much greater level. Technology is what we got to be, brothers and sisters. This is the only way that we're ever going to advance as a species. All right. We got to literally put our differences aside. Stop judging your brothers and sisters because they have a whole wealth of knowledge. When they start getting into different types of technology and different stuff, they're not thinking about no religion or nothing. So why the heck would you think on that level? We got to advance, brothers and sisters. We got to advance together. This is the original beings coming together as one, becoming a more powerful species. Therefore, we take the air and we destroy our enemies. We destroy our enemies, our true enemies. These mother effers are spraying our planet, putting poisoners everywhere, dumping shit everywhere, which means that we got to stop it. We can't stop it on the ground. We want to advance, we want to fly, but sometimes you got to fly in the machines before you can fly in person because certain things have got to take place. So it's got to go through a process and you've got to literally bring ourselves into the ultimate power and balance of nature and the cosmos because this is who we are. Technology is the greatest. It was one of our greatest lines of defense against the enemy. We fought enemies and they stole that technology from us. And they had huge levels of technologies. That's when these Saxons come to our ancient stuff. This is some advanced technology. The only thing they show us is the stone, but they don't show us what's inside of the stones. Because they realize and they know that we are a more advanced species. Why would they be fighting against us so hard? Because they know once they go in, there's no stopping. We can destroy this thing, but it's going to take us to tap into ourselves through studying, through creating, through designing, through structuring, understanding the whole nature of energy and how things work, vector energy and forced energy, and it's all different types of energy. You could use crystal energy, gas energy, all different types of energy. We're going to go into this, brothers and sisters. We're going to study this right here. So there's Pluto is in conjunction with our galactic sun. All types of information is going to be coming because Pluto, she's a powerful deity, planet Pluto. So I just passed this on to you, brothers and sisters, hoping that you will really go into this here. Because we got to return to technology. Okay? This is the only way that we're going to advance as the original beings. We've got to return to technology. Alright? We've got to bring ourselves into the balance of who our ancestors were. That's why they want us to think, oh, you came from Africa. You came from monkeys. You came from this. All along, we see through their lies. The Chicago World Fair, the St. Louis World Fair, the San Francisco World Fair, the New York World Fair. You see all these, the Philadelphia World Fairs. You see all these world fairs. What do we have? We had extremely high levels of technology that they didn't understand, that they didn't know how to make them work. Just like with Star Wars, we had the machines that glided off the ground. They didn't touch the ground. We weren't rolling on the ground. We were flying over the ground, which means we have to regain that type of information, that type of technology, which means we got to study some things. We got to deep down start reading about magnetism and how things work and how to create magnetic fields and how to create. It's vast, and it's not hard. It's easy, because the only thing it's easy is how you apply yourselves. All right, brothers and sisters, we got to apply ourselves, because the more advanced your mind becomes, the more advanced nature becomes around us. We got to advance our minds. So we're going to be going deeper into this a little later. We're going to be going deeper. We're going to be going into magnetic fields and portals and gateways, and you talk about the crystal technology. This is the only channel you're going to come across that's going to be talking on this level here. This is about our advancement. Brothers and sisters that are not in tune to this right there, because they're so more prone to the popularity and they want things to come easily. Nothing comes easily to you, brothers and sisters. The only thing that comes easily is the air that you breathe. All right? Everything else, you gotta fight for it. All power to the multi-celestial angelic beings. May chaos reign within you forever and ever. Chaos is forever, brothers and sisters. Let's create, let's build, let's design, let's get there. Much power to you all.